up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing something from the last guys that sent us a little bit, that little flux welder. Today I think we got ourselves a plasma torch, plasma cutter, whatever you want to call it. And before the old heads in the comments get all butthurt, I'm a professional, not a professional. People just send me stuff. I'm just having some fun with it. So, you know, leave your comments down below. Some of you guys have some stuff to say about the welding stuff, but we're just here having fun. We're getting stuff and you're not, so be mad. Anyways, let's get unboxing, let's get started. I can already tell this one's a box in a box. People really like to be doing that. This thing's a little guy. I don't know which model this was, to be honest, because the last time I thought it was a certain model, I turned out to be dead wrong. So we're just gonna kind of go with it and see if the box says something. All right, we got that guy. Get all this foam out the way.
Oh, the color's cool.
That's a cute little machine.
Damn.
I'm not mad at the color. I like teal.
That's freaking
Tiffany
awesome.
blue, teal, whatever you want to call it. But so this one is a 220 unit. I think this also does 110. I'm not sure. A lot of these newer machines like this, a lot of the Chinese, Taiwan machines, they usually do the dual voltage type stuff. So. All right, so there's the base machine. On its own, very small, pretty light, pretty compact. All right, so this one, we have our ground clamp, basically the same standard equipment stuff. It looks like the same type of ground clamp you're gonna get with like a Harbor Freight, you know, titanium machine. Pretty much any of these lower amperage, smaller Chinese, Taiwanese units. So at least decent quality. It just won't hold a lot of amperage, you know, probably cook kind of quick. And then we have our actual torch lead. Okay, so I was right, 220 to 110 adapter. So that's pretty rad. Usually on machines like this though, using the 110, you're super limited. So, I mean, if it works for you, it works for you, but I personally haven't had good luck. We will try it on the 110, but I'm just not promising any good results for that. So pretty straightforward. We have our connections here, positive. We have the earth, and then we have the torch, I'd imagine, for the air hookup or whatever. We do have some consumables in here. They give us some Teflon, some extra tips, and a clamp for the hose right here. Alright, so we got our okay. It's a little bit different than the prime weld one that I had before, so let's just start plugging stuff in and see if it goes to its home. Oh, you know what this is? This is the regulator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this is your air regulator adjustment. So
that's cool.
Pretty easy. On my prime weld unit, my air regulator, you know, my valve thing to adjust your air pressure, it's on the back side. So same thing. Thing on here threads in pretty nicely, so that's about as straightforward as the install gets. This thing comes pre-set up with the torch. This nice little tip here, that is so you can drag it like that, you know, because you don't want to touch the contact tip to your actual workpiece, otherwise it's gonna make a mess. Arc out. So the only other thing that this thing needs is an airline hookup, because you do need to be running obviously compressed air to this piece. It's what blows it away. So first things first, I guess let's go ahead, plug this thing into the wall, and we'll see if it actually turns on. All All right, so we got it plugged in. We're just gonna try out the 110 power right off the bat, just because my 220 cord's over there, so we'll have to mess with it. But let's hook the ground up. Last step, on power switches in the back. So the air hookup is gonna be on the back of the unit. Thankfully, it is a pretty standard size. I'm not sure, to be honest, you know, whatever. Go to Harbor Freight, they'll tell you. Anyway, so here on the front of the machine, we have obviously a bunch of dials and a bunch of buttons. So over here, we got the 2T, the 4T. Basically, 2T, when you press the switch, it's going to work as a switch. So on and off as you press it and depress it. The 4T is gonna be switched as in like you tap it, it stays on, then you have to tap it again to shut it off. So a PA, that's gonna be your pilot arc time, and then your PT is what they say, post time. So that's like your post flow and stuff like that. To be honest, I'm not super familiar with the adjustments on there. I believe it's how quickly, you know, post flow type, cooling the metal, that's gonna be your air, how long the air is blowing after that. Again, I'm new to plasma torches, so bear with me here. As for the air and the cut, so right now that we have the air set up, if you hit the air button, it's gonna trigger the air. This is your regulator, so you pull it out, and then your pressure over here, you can rotate that. So being that we're on the 110 outlet right now, according to the manual, it says that the 110 can cut up to, 3/16, I believe it said. So it wants us to run somewhere between, you know, 20 to 40 PSI. So right now we have it set at like 35. So adjust, you know, accordingly. And then there's the little pictures in the back of the book that'll tell you what a good arc looks like, you know, what the cut's looking like. So you may need to adjust the airflow up or down based on how much of it's getting blown away, which would lead to more slag and such. So outright, you know, I think we're kind of just working with it right here. So now that we have the air hooked up, you see that we have the amperage gauge here, or the amperage dial. So we can adjust the amperage just like this. So for 3/16, because I have a sheet of 3/16 on the ground clamp right now in this cart, we're gonna just start with that because it's a common size that I'll be using it for. You know, I'm in an automotive fabrication shop, so I do a lot of, you know, turbo systems, exhaust systems, and cages, and something like this will come in handy for if you ever, you know, cutting out for a wastegate on like a manifold. That's some thick stuff, some scheduled pipe, or if I'm cutting base plates for a roll cage or something, you know, make quick work of it instead of using an angle grinder, for example. So 3/16 rambling is a common size for me to use. So we also have some 1/2 inch because this can do, it says up to 9/16. I don't have anything that thick, but I do have some 1/2 inch square stock here that we can at least try on the 220 to see if it'll cut it. So right now looking for the 110, actually, you know what? Forget the manual because it has the sheet right here. So thickness, 25 amps, 220, so going off the 110. So this will do up to 3/8, so it wants us to run the full 45 amps. This one only does 35, so. All right then, we'll see if that'll even get us through it. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, well, then we know the limits of the 110, so let's give it a shot. Let's talk about PPE really quick because obviously you're playing with fire, quite literally, or plasma. Get yourself a welding helmet of some sort, or the goggles or something. This is one of the newer Miller helmets, so this does have the different modes. So I have mine set to, you know, you can see maybe in there, got the weld, and we're in the cut mode. So that's basically just to shield your eyes. Obviously, get yourself some good gloves. These are my welding gloves. These ones are fine. And don't take after me, don't be wearing shorts doing this type of stuff, but it's all right, you know, we're gonna survive. So with everything set up, the machine more or less set up, let's give it a test cut and see what happens. You ready?
Yep.
We'll just cut the corners off. It did the 3/16 on 35 amps, pretty good. Obviously with the slag there, that's something that I'd have to figure out. You know, it could also be torch angle, may have to mess with the airflow. That's something I've never had to really mess with. Again, I do have my prime weld plasma torch, but I use it once in a blue moon. So if you guys have any tips for somebody like me or anybody else in the comments down below on getting the slag to be less and the cut to be nicer, by all means, you know, drop some info. But since we can see that it cuts 3/16 just fine, the duty cycle, you know, Gonna have to read the manual. I'm not too sure what it is on this one. I want to say like a 60/40, kind of like a similar, smaller 110 unit like MIG welder. But you know, whatever. Let's grab the extension cord. Let's hook up the 220. See if we can cut some thick stuff. All right, we got the 220 hooked up now. The machine auto picks up, so it'll show a little green display on the screen showing that it's picked up the 220. Yeah, right there on the left side. And yeah, going through the manual right now, just trying to get a gauge on what we're looking like for settings. Now again, this shows right here at the 220 volt, this is a 110 220. So it's gonna be wanting us somewhere in the range, what, okay, power, airflow, air CFM, so 30 to 60. So let's go ahead, get the air. Let's turn it up a bit. We'll try, you know, 45. Actually, no, we're going ½ inch, which is close to top, so we'll try like 50 and see what happens. Put it back in cut mode, and yeah, crank the amperage up. What does it want for amperage? Again, let's refer to the chart. So 220 at ½ inch. Oh, it doesn't actually tell us on here. Oh wait, no, 55 amps, okay. Crank this puppy up to 55. You know, I don't even know. I don't know why it tells you to do one thing and it doesn't even go that high. We'll try it at 55. See how it cuts ½ inch at 55. It can't be that bad. It did at 3/8 just fine. So.
Yeah. Hi, Chase.
What's going on, Alex? What's going on, Chris?
Sup?
Do a product review.
Yeah?
Yeah. We got the BestArc, plasma cutter.
Is it the BestArc?
It's arcing pretty best.
Damn.
I mean,
So far, so good.
For such a little guy, it's doing good. I mean, we just, you know, did the 3/8 just fine, so testing ½ inch, yeah. All right, give it a test run.
Dang.
Like butter.
Nice.
I'm not gonna touch that because that's really hot, but I'll touch the big guy. Not a bad cut. And again, slag settings, mess with them. Normally you just chip it away. You know, like that. And just clean it up with a belt sander, your angle grinder, whatever you gotta do. You know, even plasma tables, laser jets, whatever, they're not all perfect anyway. It's all in the settings. Honestly, this thing seems to work pretty great. There's not a whole lot you can review on a machine like this in a, you know, in a long format video. So I do hope you guys found this really quick review to be of any sort of information to you. And again, you know, 2 test cuts. I'd have to sit here and mess with this thing all day, but that's a lot of time. That's a lot of scrap metal that I don't really have to spare. And honestly, we'll see how it works in the, you know, in the long run and in my day-to-day. But being that it is a nice available unit, I'm sure the consumables are going to be all the same as the rest of the, you know, it's going to be standard size stuff. So consumables are cheap and abundant. Probably get them at your local weld shop because I'm sure they're going to be the same as some of the lower end units that you might find from the name brand guys. But overall, you know, you really can't go wrong. The welder we had worked great from these guys, and the plasma torch, it does exactly what I needed to do. So again, we'll see how it holds up in the long run. If you guys want to get yourselves one, we do have, you know, an affiliate link, which will be in the product description, you know, video description, pin top comment, one of those two. And if you're local and you want to help support, come by the shop, get some work done. Velocity Race Fab here in Tempe, Arizona. Thanks for spending some time out of your day. I really do appreciate, you know, 8 minutes of your time to check out some cool little products with us. And thanks to you guys for even supporting the channel and allowing us to get the attention of some companies like this with a little guy like myself to get some product reviews put in place, because it's pretty cool to be given such privileges. So thanks again for your time. You know, do what you love, think about the rest. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, Alex, for filming, and get out of here, Chase.
Buy a shirt.
Yeah, buy a shirt.
Yo.
Get that VRF swag.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.